because my dumbass, after 5 years of doing this podcast, used an SD card that was full, ran around for 5 minutes at least, and I already started late. So anyways, this is what 10 and a half years looks like.
It was fine. I got to listen to a little pug snoring.
Yeah, he was very cute.
Which is really cute.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you. Yeah. Again, patience, well-adjusted. Lots to look up to. Okay, we're going to jump in again.
Okay.
Poway is where you grew up. So I asked if you were from San Diego.
Yes.
And you said yes. Mom remarried.
Yes. So I was born in Poway, but raised all the way from Escondido to Oceanside.
Okay.
Dad kind of lived everywhere. There was not really a whole lot of stability there. And then when my mom remarried, she stayed in San Marcos. But that came with its own troubles because I was treated more like the stepchild.
In the home?
In the home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have another sibling with your parents, or was it just you?
So it's just me with my dad, but I have 3 other half-siblings.
Okay.
I've got an older sister who's 36. I'm 28. And then I have a younger brother and sister who just turned 21.
How do you have an older sister? Oh, through your mom or through your dad?
Through my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then a few that are from your mom and your stepdad that are younger than you.
Yes.
Okay. And then where we left off was you were sharing with me that in 4th grade, you were institutionalized for being suicidal in 4th grade. Mm-hmm. So what does an institution look like for someone that's 8 years old?
So I was in Aurora in San Diego. And for me, I was outpatient, but I spent the majority of the daytime there.
Okay.
And, you know, there were group classes and group therapies, and we did art. And there was a schoolroom, but there was just someone sitting on their phone or on the computer in there.
Okay.
So I would just drift off into space.
Okay. Do you feel like it actually helped you?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
If anything, it taught me to keep how I was feeling on the inside. Because
you shared with people how you were feeling and you ended up in there.
Absolutely. And there were people who had severe mental problems in there. Like they were running the halls naked and throwing poop on the wall. And so it made me feel like I was on that level, and
Absolutely.
I was like, I just don't want to be back in here.
Yeah, totally. So did you always feel, do you remember when you started feeling depressed? And then how do you learn? I mean, 8 seems young to know suicide is like an option. Do you remember when you started putting that together? Did you always have like a melancholy, like a sadness, or did it develop over time?
No, it was there from like the earliest times I can remember.
So you're there for 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
And then do you go back to school?
Yep. Yeah. And you know, these kids were the same kids that I started kindergarten with, who I ended up going to high school with.
Okay. So everyone knew.
Everyone knew. And I was ostracized. And I really got like that weird girl, like quote unquote label early on.
Okay. When is the first time you got high?
My sophomore year of high school. So in middle school, like I had big buck teeth. Like I barked and I hissed at people.
Okay. So you leaned into the girl interrupted vibe.
Absolutely. Okay. I was like, if they're going to think I'm weird, like I'm going to make it as weird as possible so like they can be as uncomfortable as I am.
Did you see Girl Interrupted back then?
No.
Okay. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh, interesting. Okay. It's about these girls older than you, but they're in a very old school institution. And
yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes.
Angelina Jolie is in it. And Brittany Murphy.
Yes.
And in a way, I could totally see how watching that would actually make you feel better, because you can lean into, because there's kind of like a badass vibe to it all too. And so I could see you leaning into it. It's like, fine, I can make this my identity.
Yeah. My boyfriend in the 8th grade was like that punk guy who had Liberty spikes and wore the like mismatching plaid pants.
Totally.
Yeah.
Got it. So your sophomore year, do you smoke weed? What's the first thing you do?
So my sophomore year, I got my braces off. I started straightening my hair and kind of got into like the pot smoking crowd.
Okay.
And from like jump, I greened out the first time that I smoked.
What does that mean?
It's like not an overdose of weed, but like it's just like you're on another planet.
Oh, I've never heard that term before. Mm-hmm. You know why? You're a lot younger than me. Okay, so when you smoked weed for the first time, it was probably way better by then because... No?
I don't know. It was still like really
shake
shitty.
And seeds and bullshit.
Yeah, like
okay.
half the time you got your pot, it was like fucking oregano. I got...
Oh, right. Okay,
yeah.
okay. Because I have heard that now that it's legal, and for us, I forget it's not legal everywhere. For us, it's like somebody could be smoking weed outside right now and I wouldn't even care. It's so legal. Mm-hmm. But because it's legal, the strains are so intense and so good. My understanding that it's actually becoming more of a problem. I wouldn't say more of a problem, but like a real addiction can be, developed over time now because they're so good.
Absolutely.
So did you just smoke a ton that day?
So much. Like it was 420.
Okay.
And I just like, I didn't know what being high meant. Like
totally.
I looked at them and I was like, you're having a good time. Like I'll do all of the things.
Yeah.
So I smoked out of like the 5-foot bong and ate the edible.
The same day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, ended up like having to be carried to my door because I had jello legs.
Okay. What did your parents do?
So my mom was asleep and I remember like I crawled up, like army crawled up the stairs. And I just like whispered off the side. I was like, I'm home. I'm here. She was like, let me give you a hug. And my mom is the most naive, like innocent.
It is too.
She has never done a drug in her life, so had no idea what pot smelled like. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, you smell a little weird.
Yeah.
I was like, there was a skunk.
Yeah. Oh,
there was a skunk.
she believed you?
Yeah.
My mom was really naive too.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah, no.
Thanks to her firstborn and her secondborn. So you don't get busted for that. Did you love it that night? Did you like it right away, feeling that way?
I hated it. So I always hated weed, but because everyone was doing it, I was like, I might as well. I want to fit in.
Because you had shared with me the first time we were recording, you did really well academically.
Yes.
I find that for people that do well academically, we are more likely to, well, I guess that's not always true. For me, I hated weed because I don't like not being in charge of my faculties.
Yes.
I do not like not knowing what's going on. I don't want to be obliterated. I don't want to be knotted out. I need to know what the fuck is going on. Is that also why you didn't like it?
I mean, I think it made me paranoid from day one. And like, I am a very introverted person. And it made me like, I would just stop talking completely. Yeah. And like, I'm just staring off into a corner because it's moving and I'm freaking out.
Right. So how often do you start smoking weed after that?
It was like a regular basis. We would go after school to this dude's garage and we would smoke hookah and smoke pot.
Okay. Hookah, that's the thing with all the big pipes on it, right?
The big
They're
thing.
the tubes or whatever.
It was super popular when I was in school and also got sick the first time that I smoked hookah.
So what starts to progress for you from there? Like, are you still going to school? Does it start to affect you at all?
So soon after I got into like the pot smoking crowd, I kind of hung out with like the popular girls a little bit and got invited to their parties. And like from the very first time that I drank, like I blacked out, threw up everywhere in someone's bathroom, had to be put to sleep at the party, you know?
Yeah.
But after that night drinking, I was like, oh my gosh, I can get as close to like not being there as physically possible. And that's what I loved because it made my head stop thinking.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Do you graduate from high school?
I did, but like by the seat of my pants. Okay. So the end of my sophomore year, I ended up moving from my mom's house to my dad's because I got in some trouble. And I was like, you know what? My dad doesn't give a fuck what I do. I might as well move in with him.
Where did he live?
Carlsbad.
Okay.
So the scene was very different. Like San Marcos is very quiet. The cops roll a party within like 10 minutes because they have nothing to do. Carlsbad was like meth city.
Yeah, there's that one little area by the highway.
Yeah.
That little neighborhood, the barrio, whatever they call it.
So I lived in Tanglewood. Everyone called it Tanglehood.
Okay.
Because it's where
all the drug dealers... Is that in that area where I'm talking about? Like Pio Pico and that little park?
Like right... do you know where the mall is?
Yeah.
So it's like to the right of the mall. And then there's like Heroin City that's like the street down from me.
Yeah, totally. What do they call it? They call it Heroin. Oh, there's also Heroin Alley in Encinitas. I don't think I actually even knew there was a Heroin City. Is it like the Tri-City area kind of?
No, so it's in Carlsbad. So okay. Tanglewood is where like the meth dealers and the speed dealers were, and the cocaine. And then the apartments across the street was where all of the heroin dealers were.
Okay. So you move in with your dad, and then when does your drug use progress from weed and alcohol to something else?
So quick.
Okay. So you're still in high school.
Absolutely. So I was really, once I moved, I picked that popular girl's personality, and I was like, bang, I'm going to be a chameleon. I'm going to fit in with them.
Because it was a new school.
Yeah. So I could just be whoever I wanted. And, I started hanging out with the popular girls, but I didn't understand them. Like, they came from households with families that were still together, that had a lot of money. And it seemed like they had their lives together. And I just self-destructed, I ruined a lot of friendships. And I soon started hanging out with like the Carlsbad skate rats is what they were called.
Okay.
And I fit in a lot more there, right? Like, they came from broken homes with like who lived impoverished, and who liked getting fucked up.
Yeah. Is that who introduces you to meth for the first time?
So a friend of mine took me to this like motorcycle party where like it's guys who have no business hanging out with
I was just going to say, I mean, we're talking about older guys, right? Or at least in their 20s or something.
Late 20s.
Okay.
Who had no business hanging out. But I was like, I'm cool. I'm so cool. And my friend asked me, she was like, oh, do you want to do some coke in the bathroom? And like, I had never seen coke, but in the movies. I was like, sure. Of course I do. And so when we snorted it, I didn't realize that it wasn't supposed to burn the way that it burned. Okay. But, at that party, it was everything I wanted alcohol to be. Because I couldn't talk to people when I was fucked up. Like, I made a mess of myself.
Totally.
And at that party, I was able to be like that girl. I was making jokes and dancing and talking, and I just didn't give a hoot.
Yeah. And it turns out it was meth?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, as soon as she pulled out like the pizzo at the end of the party, I was like, you know what? I love this.
Okay.
And it started, again, very alcoholically, right? Like, we lived out of my car for like 3 to 5 days, going to different parties.
Oh, shit. From that event? Yeah. Okay. You don't go home?
Nope.
Did your dad notice? What did he do?
So I think I just told him. I was like, oh, I'm staying at a friend's house.
And he was like, fine.
Yeah. He was like, okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah. Shit. Okay. And you're a sophomore when that happens.
I'm at the beginning of my junior year.
Okay. What starts to progress from there?
So quick. So within a 6-month period, I was engaged to the drug dealer boyfriend, like hardly going to school. When I'm going to school.
You were engaged?
Oh, so bad. So bad.
Did he give you a ring and everything?
I used my mom's wedding ring.
How did you get it?
So she had given it to me when I was really young.
Okay.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
Big mistake. Yeah. And so I used that, and I remember.
And sorry, wearing it, and like, I'm engaged.
I'm engaged.
How old was the guy?
Too old.
Okay.
Yeah, too old. And I was like barely going to school. I was living in his like dungeon trap house. And then going home just to like save face a little bit. My dad is an alcoholic and an addict. And I think he was just in a lot of denial of what was going on. And I also don't think he was well equipped to even say anything.
It's so much easier to just believe the people that you love. It's just so much easier.
Yes.
And then if you throw in that you're also using, like, I had a boyfriend in my early 20s. I don't think I've ever shared this. Who I loved. We're actually still really good friends. And from like, I don't know, 22 to 25 or something. And he drank a lot, even more than I did. And I always wanted him to stop drinking. But then like we'd go to dinner and I would order alcohol. And so like I couldn't push it that fucking hard. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I feel like it's not as often that you see that in the parent-child dynamic. But longer I've been doing the show, the more I've seen it's way more than I assumed. Yeah. And so it's like, and also that generation, different generations, they're doing the best they can with what they fucking have.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's what I've
so
learned.
It's like, so he's not really investigating this. You're living mainly at a trap house with an older guy that you were engaged to who is selling meth.
Yep.
And kind of going to high school.
And heroin. It was mostly heroin. And he was also on heroin and doing heroin.
You weren't?
No. So I have never tried actual heroin
Okay.
from that experience, because I was like, I don't want to be that. It's like
You would see people nodded out, and that did not look interesting to you.
I loved him, but I looked down on him a lot.
Well, thank God you didn't end up trying heroin.
Truly.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I ended up, I'm mainly a heroin addict, but I preferred meth vastly. And I only kept doing heroin because I had to, because I would get strung out. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I preferred the up. I didn't want to go down. I wanted to go up. But then I ultimately preferred doing both together. And I feel like you also would have ended up doing both together. So you're living with him, you're going to school, and then you graduate. What happens next?
So I graduated by the seat of my pants. Life got really scary really quick. I started prostituting. I would go on...
At what age?
At like 17.
Okay, so after you graduate high school?
No, so I graduated at 18.
Okay. While you were in high school, you were doing
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
How did that even come up?
So I found out a friend was going on the website Seeking Arrangement, and she was like, I get sugar daddies who buy me shit. And I was like, I want that. I don't want a job. And I was working at Rubio's at the time. I fucking hated it. And so I decided to go on the website, got in some pretty sticky situations.
What was your first date?
So I wasn't introduced to the man right away. It was one of his other, like, sugar babies, you could call it, who messaged me, and she was like, I think you would be great with us. And so, like, they gave me an Uber down to his, like, La Jolla skyrise apartment.
Wow.
And he wasn't in there right away. It was just her and I.
Okay.
And she was like, do you, like, do drugs? Do you smoke? And I was like, I do meth. And she was like, oh, so do we. And I was like, perfect. This is great. Free drugs.
Yeah.
But then once he was involved, it got a lot less fun.
Yeah. How long was it before he got it? So did you guys just hang out that night smoking meth together? Was it a couple of times before he comes in?
So it was that same night, but
Okay.
like we had been there all day together.
Yeah.
And it was just her and I, which I loved.
Yeah, totally. What happens when he walks in the door and says hi?
So he immediately picks up the pipe, and I feel like he tried to have this personality where it's like, I'm young and fit and fresh, when he was none of that.
If you could guess his age, how old do you think he was?
56, 57.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have to sleep with him that night?
There was like a lot of touching and a whole lot of other stuff that night.
Okay.
And then the very next time, it was a lot more intense.
Okay. Did he give you cash that night?
Cash, and bought me things.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How long does that relationship go on?
It was only like a month or so. It wasn't a lot. And then I got myself in another situation, which was just, it was too much. And by 18 and a half, I was like, you know what? I need to get sober.
Wow. Okay.
And since my dad was an alcoholic, like, I grew up in the rooms of AA. I was that little girl playing
Have you been sober for 10 years?
No.
Oh,
Fuck
okay,
no.
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I've been sober for 4 years now.
Okay, all right, okay. But you start thinking it at 18 and a half.
At 18 and a half, I knew exactly where to go. I went into the rooms of AA, went to a young people's meeting.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Right in San Marcos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing what happened in that other incident, or would you rather not talk about it because we don't have to?
It was just, it got violent really
Okay,
quick.
all right. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You keep doing sex work after that?
No.
Okay, that
Yeah,
scared you enough to stop.
Especially because there was sexual trauma, like, from my childhood as well. That, like, once it got really scary and to that point, I was like, nope, I'm going to shut down. Like, I knew myself well enough to know that I was going to give up.
Do you think there's any link between the sexual trauma from your childhood and then seeing that as a real option later versus someone that has not had sexual trauma?
Absolutely. I mean, I learned very early on that, like, I can get my way if I use my sexuality.
It's a commodity to be traded.
Yes.
Versus a thing that I have and own.
Yeah.
That's sort of what I've seen too from interviewing people. Once it's taken from you as a thing that's yours and it's commodified, then I feel like it becomes much easier for women later to be like, well, I already had this commodity.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is to me too.
Yeah. And that's why, like, later on in my adulthood, it was really hard for me to have relationships, because it was like, you either get me emotionally or you get me sexually. Like, there was a blocking.
Not both. Interesting.
Yeah. And so,
Okay.
like, I would completely shut down with partners when it came to sex.
What did the fiance think about you doing that?
He didn't give a shit.
He didn't care.
No, not a single heck.
Right. Okay.
He was in
You're
and
so
out.
cute how you talk.
Thank you.
Did you purposely not cuss?
No,
That's
I get
cute.
it. I get it from my mom.
Not
so
a
they
single
just
heck.
they slip out.
I don't give a hoot.
I don't give a hoot.
That's really cute. It's really cute. I like
Thank
it.
you.
So after you graduate from high school, is there any talk of I'm going to go to junior college or college, or I'm going to just start working? Where do you live? Do you stay with your dad?
I was staying with my dad, and then I was like, I'm just gonna work. I don't want to do school. Like, my parents told me, they're like, you should go to college, but there wasn't any help getting there.
Okay.
And it felt really out of grasp for me to do by myself, especially with what was going on in my life.
So what happens with the fiance?
He ends up going to jail, and it gets called off. That at one point, the sad thing is...
Did you set a date and stuff?
The what?
Did you set a date and stuff for the wedding?
No.
No, okay. It was just like, we're just engaged. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he just wanted to keep me around.
For sure.
Like, I'm sure there were other flings on the side.
It's also so romantic to be engaged. I've only been engaged once, right?
Yeah.
But like, I always wanted to be engaged.
Absolutely. Oh my! And my
so
my mom and
romantic.
dad were high school sweethearts.
Right.
So for me, I felt like the clock was ticking very early on.
Yeah. Okay. So he goes to jail. You're living with your dad. So the first sobriety attempt, you go to a young people's meeting in San Marcos.
Yes.
And then how does it go from there?
So I had very like bullshit sobriety. I was sober for 2.5 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Did you do steps and stuff?
So I did them very loosely.
Okay.
I chose a sponsor who I could kind of like walk all over and manipulate and kind of give the bare minimum. And, you know, I would like take a sip of alcohol here or do a pill here. And I didn't consider it a relapse because like that's not my drug of choice, or like I didn't get fucked up. So I'm fine. And I just wouldn't tell anyone.
Okay. Where do you work during these years?
So at that time, I was working at a vintage clothing store, both in Carlsbad and Encinitas.
Oh, the what's it called?
Flashbacks.
Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh, you're such a Flashbacks girl. I could totally see this.
I loved it. Oh my gosh.
I love that place.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Uh-huh.
It's still there.
Yeah.
At least the one in Encinitas for
Yeah,
sure.
they're all there.
Dude, there was it was a vintage Aerosmith 1980 tour shirt there once, and I'm a big Aerosmith fan, and I was born in 1980. I don't even want to say that, but whatever, fuck it, it's out there. And it was like, I don't know, $35, or you know what, actually it had to have been a little bit more than that. It wasn't a ton though, and I didn't buy it. That was like 12 years ago. I still think about that fucking t-shirt to this day. You were probably working there.
I'm like, it's the same for me. Like, I won't buy something,
bought it.
and then I'm like, "Hi, shut up."
1980, and it was a real one. It didn't just say like you buy it at Target and it just says like Van Halen 1988, but you bought it yesterday. This was like from that tour.
Yeah.
I still think about that shirt. Okay, so you're working at Flashbacks, living at your dad's, and you're kind of fake sober, doing all the YPA stuff.
So I'm fake sober. At 18, I kind of realized that sobriety and living with my dad weren't a good mix, because he was in active addiction at the time, and both violent and verbal. And it was really bad. And so after about kind of like 2 years of not really talking to my mom, like she came to my graduation and we like went out to lunch maybe once or twice. I called her and I said, I'm ready to get sober and I need help. And I remember that so clearly. I was at the Flashbacks in Encinitas on my break, and like I used the night before and it just didn't work for me.
This is after the 2.5 years of fake sobriety, or no? This is when you actually first go in.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
And I called her and I said, I'm ready to get sober. Like I need help. And I detoxed in my friend's like basement, basically. And that was 5 days of just like I begged them multiple times to let me out. Like I'll be fine. Just let me go. I don't want to be here anymore. And they said no.
And you were smoking meth mainly at that time?
Smoking, snorting, everything but shooting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then do you move in with your mom after that?
I did.
Okay.
And you know, that was I think a little bit easier because I had this like falsehood of sobriety while I was there. And so I think there was a lot of trust that was earned back.
Right. So it was easier to live there then than the first time around.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
at that point, I think my mom was focusing a lot more on my younger siblings.
Okay. Right. Sure. So what leads to you using again after 2.5 years?
So there were multiple really bad relationships in that sobriety. At 3 months, I ended up in a relationship with a guy who had like 2.5 years, which was super unhealthy and toxic. Everything that I loved, right? Because I craved chaos. And at 21, it was like weeks after my 21st birthday, I'm working at Pizza Port in Carlsbad. And the Pizza Port in Carlsbad was like the redheaded stepchild of the Pizza Ports.
In Solana Beach. Yeah.
No,
or
in
the other ones.
Carlsbad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
mean, the good one is in further south.
Yes.
Solana, right? And
Yeah.
then there's the one in Carlsbad.
Yep.
God, that's so true. That is
Yeah.
the red. And I've never worked there, obviously, but that's so true. It's like the one they forget about.
Yeah, and we would like pour beers and then sneak them into the back. And I remember the bartender looked at me and he's like, "Do you want one?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." Like because I was not doing the work, there was no strength to say no. And I remember looking at my friend who knew I was sober, and she watches me down this, and she's like, "What's going on?" And I said, "I'm not doing it anymore." And so I went over to her house, her apartment, that night, drank like a whole bottle of her wine, puked in her toilet, and then drove myself home, which was one of my favorite things to do, drive drunk, which I feel so blessed that I didn't hurt anyone or myself.
I've heard so many people say that. I was actually just at an event recently, and the stand-up comic Annie Lederman was there, and she was saying God had to make these two activities the most fun thing on earth: drinking and driving. I was not I certainly drove drunk my fair share of times, but I didn't necessarily like enjoy it and drink to do it. But I've heard so many people that did enjoy it. What's fun about it? That's crazy.
I mean, I have always just liked to go fast.
Okay.
And
So you just like listen to music and
be a little reckless. Like I was riding dirt bikes at 13. And so I just loved, there was something about it.
Okay.
That I just loved.
Yeah, I've heard multiple people say that. And I don't, like, there's an interesting psychology there to me because I don't think it's universal amongst all of us, obviously, because I wasn't into it.
Yeah.
You know? So you drive yourself home. Does it escalate to meth again?
Not right away.
Okay.
So for about the first like 6 months, year, it's just like alcohol party city. And we're going to like one bar in Oceanside, Larry's, like the diviest of dive bars.
Like on the beach?
It's kind of
near the beach. Yeah. Oh, I know that place.
Like I didn't like the well-lit, like the fancier established. I wanted to go to where like there's the 4 regulars that are there every day because they get the way I drink. Right?
I
And
love
like,
those places too.
Yeah, I would go there on the weekends when like the cool Oceanside people would be there, and I would make a fool of myself every single time.
Just getting like super hammered.
But like belligerent. I would start fights. I was feisty. Like I loved chaos. So I would do anything that I could to like stir up a little bit.
Okay.
So I end up dating a man in a bike club. And for me, like that was the chaos that I loved. Like we would just go on runs and do like crazy shit that like a 21-year-old girl like should not be a part of. But you know, it was really exciting and it was fun, and these men were dangerous, and I felt protected. And like that's what a lot of my relationships boiled down to back in the day, is like I hid behind these personalities and these bigger people because my little girl could hide behind them. Yeah. And like they just made me feel protected until they didn't.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so we end up, the guy that I'm dating loves meth and loves to drink and loves to ride the bike, which was my favorite. Like we're going 120 down the highway and I'm like hands to my sides, just eyes closed, fucking wobbling, loving it.
Did it have one of the backs?
No. Yeah, it is crazy to me that it took 23 years of my life to break my neck. Right. You know? Like it's kind of insane.
Totally. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it would still be terrifyingly dangerous if it had a back, but still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So where do we go?
So we end up dating. It gets really scary pretty quick. And I break off that relationship and almost immediately get back into another one with a guy who's on testosterone and very like trad wife driven.
Oh, okay.
And it was...
That's a whole role, though, that like some of us almost want to get into for a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've even found myself, I'd fall into that trap sometimes and be like, I could do this. And I don't know what that's about.
I think there was a level of control there that was like, I'm giving up like what I want almost. And I don't know why I loved that, but I did.
Yeah.
And he was strong and made me feel protected. He was angry a lot of the times, but I knew that if we went out, like I would be protected. And that relationship, you know, brought out my worst personal defects. And I did a lot, like that man was abusive, but like I also did a lot of damage.
Okay.
And we end up breaking up, and like my only coping mechanisms were get fucked up and like sleep around.
Okay.
And so that's what I did. And I end up getting pregnant with the first guy that I sleep with. And for me, I had ovarian cancer when I was really young. So I have a single ovary.
How old were you when you had ovarian cancer?
So I should be in the Guinness World Records book. I was 3 months old. I was the youngest case in the United States at the time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How did they treat it when you were 3 months old?
So they performed one surgery where they just cleared out my ovary. They said, well, we're just going to wait to see if it comes back. And it came back twice as big. So then they just removed my entire left ovary.
Whoa. Yeah. So your whole life you've just only had one ovary?
Yeah, just one.
And then that one ovary got pregnant.
Yeah.
At the worst possible time.
Yeah.
Sure.
And for me, I had always, like, I grew up thinking that it would be hard for me to conceive.
Totally.
And, like, history said, like, that was true.
Right.
Because, like, there was a whole lot of, like, sketchy shit happening and not a single pregnancy.
Yeah.
And it was almost funny that it happened when it did, because the man that I dated before, who, like, I didn't know me, I thought I was going to marry him and, like, figured out this whole life together, even though, like, we were dating for, like, 3 months. Like, not...
The trad wife guy? Yeah. Okay.
Not a long time. And so that pregnancy brought on a whole lot of feelings, because all I've wanted to be since I was little is a mom. It's all I wanted to be, but I also wondered if I would turn out like my mom, to have a resentment against this child, because, like, I couldn't take care of myself. I can't take care of another thing.
Yeah.
And then wondering about the guy, like, if he is going to be a good father.
Did you tell him?
Yeah, told him, and he said, I don't want another child, but I will support whatever you do. And then I told friends, and I told one family member, and it was either like, this is your miracle baby, and, like, you should keep it, or quite the opposite, like, you're not ready to be a mom, and you should abort it. So I end up going to Planned Parenthood, and I get the pills, and my friend takes me to an Airbnb, and I ended up getting into an accident. I fell, and that is where I broke my neck.
Okay.
So life just got...
Did you take the pills? Oh, so you took the pills.
I took
These are two separate incidents.
So I took the first pill that they give you, which is just preparing your body.
Okay.
And then my friend took me to this Airbnb so that I didn't have to do it in a place that, like, I was around continuously.
Okay.
And while we're there, I fell and broke my neck.
Okay. So, and did you have a miscarriage as a result?
No. So I end up in the ICU. They performed numerous surgeries. I was in an induced coma for 9 days. And there were numerous situations that, like, nearly took my life.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, like, my family and friends came to say their goodbyes several times.
Whoa. And if it's not okay, I can cut this out, but I know we're kind of Ashley's glossing over a little bit of the details here, but that's on purpose.
Yes.
So just so you guys know, I'm not dropping the ball here and asking questions, but it's important that we just go right into.
Yeah.
And really, that's what matters, because you're still sober through this insane accident. So you
Not
break
sober.
your neck. Well, like later,
yes.
like right now
Yeah,
you are. Do you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Holy shit. So how many years ago was this?
So this will be 6 years, December the 13th.
Okay. So you break your neck. You're in the fucking hospital. You're in an induced coma. You almost die while you're in this coma multiple times. You almost flatline.
Yeah.
And then you wake up, and what happens?
And so I'm on all of the drugs. Like, I've got the cocktail of all of the drugs. So the first month and a half is really spotty. I have like vague memories. I also had ICU delirium, which is when you're on a ventilator. So I'm on this thing that breathes for me. You have a lack of oxygen that's going to your brain. That mixed with like the hospital lighting, your body can't determine what is day and what is night. So you basically have these hallucination-like dreams. Like, it feels like reality.
Okay.
Which was
Like
terrifying.
lucid nightmares.
Yeah, like at one point I saw a nurse come in and slit my wrists.
Oh my gosh.
Insane.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my mom and my parents knew that when they were going in, that I would most likely have ICU delirium. But they said, the cocktail of drugs is better than her feeling any of the pain
That's
going to come up.
probably true.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's true.
For sure.
Yeah.
But at one point, I remember a nurse coming in to me, and she said, "You are pregnant. Do you want help with that?" And like, me being in the state that I was in, I said yes. I said, "Yeah, please." And I didn't tell any of my family. Because I was still terrified, right? Like, I was the middle child, and I lived up to that name, and fear and shame, I just kept it a secret.
Yeah.
And the nurses at that hospital really, they saved me. They came and they loved me, and they just let me cry.
Yeah. So did they do the pill thing, or?
So I don't know how they did it.
Oh, all right. Okay. That's probably good.
Yeah, vaguely there, but not there.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I was in the ICU for...
Also, thank you for sharing that side of your story. It's so different now, and I'm so happy about it, because, and I'm not that much older than you. It's not like I'm born in the fucking 50s, but I was at an HA meeting recently, and this really young girl, she's like 22, she's sitting up there, and she was like, and then I had an abortion, and it really affected me, and it really hurt me, blah, 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 and everybody's just listening, and then she moves on. And I'm so proud of you guys for being able to say it, because we couldn't say that.
Yeah, I've done so much work on it, and there was a lot of shame that was kept there.
And people don't understand, even if it's what you want to do. Obviously, it's what you want to do because you're doing it, but it's a very weird feeling in your bones to be genetically wired to have a child and then choose not to, and you feel like an asshole despite the situation. Maybe not an asshole, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that you guys are able to talk about it more so, and that you did just now. I really appreciate and thank you for sharing that part of all of this.
I remember talking with my current sponsor about it for the first time, and I completely broke down. And she said, Ashley, she was like, I think that was the first unselfish decision that you made.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right, because I couldn't take care of myself. I would not have given that child the best chances.
Right. And recognizing that is, I also think, truly unselfish. But then you mix in the stigma and the judgment of people around you, and then always wondering. It's just so hard,
Mm-hmm.
So you're in the coma. You go through that. When do you get told? So what are your injuries? Because you're not paralyzed. So you walked up the stairs.
I was.
Oh, okay.
I was completely paralyzed from everything below my neck. Yeah, and after I fell, I was able to get back up, essentially, and walk back to bed. And so I woke up in the morning, because of the swelling that occurs sometimes, your body can't determine right away that you're severely hurt.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And so I went back to bed, woke up the next morning and couldn't move anything.
Did you just call to your friend?
Yes. And so we ended up calling 911, and they drove me in an ambulance like 10 minutes away because we were in like the middle of the hills. And then I was airlifted.
Okay. Okay. So when do you start to get told the intensity of your, when does it start to hit you? I'm paralyzed. You knew.
I knew.
Okay.
And,
what were you thinking laying there thinking my whole life has changed? I'm paralyzed.
Think for the first 10 minutes or so, there wasn't a single thought in. And I remember going through the MRI machine and all of the loud noises, and then seeing my mom after I got out. And the last thing that I said to her before they put me under was, "Mom, I don't want to be paralyzed."
Wow.
And so there was an automatic shutdown. Once I was out of the coma, obviously I'm on all of the drugs.
Right.
And I'm saying, "Give me more, give me all of it." And then after 2 months in the ICU, I end up in physical rehab for 5 months. And, you know, COVID had just started.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I mean, my accident was December 13th of 2019.
Oh, okay.
And so while I'm in the inpatient rehab, they decide to cut off all family contact. And so I'm in there doing it alone, which was almost easier.
And you're living there?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And it was almost easier because there were a whole lot of questions that I wasn't ready to answer.
Okay.
And so being that they were far away, they just like showed up on FaceTime with loving words.
Sure.
Like as much as they could. So I left rehab and ended up having to move back in with my mom, which was not ready to do.
Yeah.
There was a whole lot of like untreated relationship shit that we needed to work on.
Yeah.
That we were not ready to work on. And when I got out of rehab, like I had a core group of girlfriends who were still there, like three girlfriends that showed up on a regular basis. But other than that, like all of like the motorcycle people didn't show up because like it's not cool to be friends with a disabled chick, you know?
What are your exact injuries, if you don't mind sharing with the audience?
So I'm a C3, C4 quadriplegic. And that means that like all four of my limbs. A quadriplegic means that all four of your limbs were affected.
Okay. And then in therapy, though, they were able to get you to a point where, I mean, you've got some mobility. You're 90% obviously in the wheelchair. And then if you need to or want to, you can.
Yes. So by the time I got home, I was able to walk with like a trough walker, which is where like you just put all of your weight into the walker.
Okay.
And able to do that kind of short distances. But there was a lot that needed to be worked on.
How did you feel mentally and emotionally? Did you feel like, oh my God, my life is over? I'm this young, beautiful 24-year-old. My life is over.
I shut down completely because, I mean, I had bleach blonde hair at the time, which had grown out completely. I don't have my eyelashes. My eyebrows aren't being plucked.
Bro, I get all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would feel the same way. Mm-hmm. That's a kind of oh my God.
A huge deal for me. And growing up, I used my sexuality to get my way and to like get me through life, and that wasn't there anymore. So I just didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, damn, dude. So what do you start doing?
When friends came to hang out, I would go out and I would get completely trashed.
Okay. So you're still drinking at that point? Yes. Are you still doing meth ever? Or?
No. So It was like the little edible gummies to go to bed, and then a lot of alcohol. And then slowly pain pills were introduced. Because I learned very early on I can act a little bit up and then get basically an endless prescription pad.
Okay.
Which is exactly what I did.
Okay. And
I ended up moving out of my mom's house at like 4 months because it just got so bad.
Where'd you move to?
With my aunt, who I hadn't talked to since I was in middle school.
Okay.
And this is also like peak COVID still. And I didn't know her personality from ins and outs. And so there was a lot of manipulation and codependency there.
Okay.
And my addiction got real dark real quick.
With the pain pills?
Yes.
What kind of pain pills were you doing?
So I was doing Norcos and benzos and like a whole cocktail of stuff. Like, and at the end of my addiction, I was doing upwards of like 25 pills a day.
Snorting?
No, just taking them. Yeah. And for me, I didn't know if, like, 'cause my depression had gotten so bad, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to try and kill myself. But
you wanted to.
I wanted to, and I used the pills as a way to kind of just disappear. Yeah, and it got real dark real quick. But luckily, and I find this so funny, out of all of the drugs that I've done, because I've done just about everything, it was weed that got me sober. Because I was doing full tinctures to go to sleep. And the weed, like we said...
Oh, yeah, like we were saying, is really strong now.
Yeah, really strong. And so turns out I have the brain waves, the brain matter that makes me... oh my gosh, what is it called? It makes, like, go through delirium. What is that?
I don't know.
Delirium.
Tremens?
Paranoia. Like, I was on a whole different planet.
Okay.
So I was hallucinating. And the first time it happened, it was really intense. Like, I jumped out of bed and I couldn't catch myself. And so I ended up hurt. And then the next day I was like, that was weird. Let's try it again. And it was even worse. It lasted 72 hours.
Wow.
It was really bad. And I have family members who have wet brain who have been driven insane by drugs.
Whoa, okay.
So it was kind of my ego that got me sober.
Okay.
Because I was like, I just can't be that.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't want to be that.
Like, I'm already in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'm not also going to be, oh my God.
Uh-huh.
What's the inciting incident that gets you back into sobriety?
So it was that last delirium, whatever you would call it, that 72 hours.
Oh, psychosis.
Psychosis.
That's the word you're looking for. Okay.
Thank you. Oh,
I'm thinking delirium
gosh.
tremens from the fucking big book like it's the 1940s. Psychosis.
Psychosis. Yeah, thank you. So it was that last psychosis episode that I was like, okay, I have to get sober. And I went on Facebook, and I found a woman who I knew was sober, who had a lot of time, who scared the shit out of me. And I called her and I said, hey, I want to get sober, but like, I think I can still do the pot if I just like tone it down to go to sleep. And I still need the pain pills because like I'm disabled and I hurt. And she was like, yeah, that's not the way I sponsor. Call me back if you actually want to get sober. And she hung up on me.
Is this someone I know?
Potentially.
I'm sure I do.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
And you know, that was the first time in like a year and a half, because at that point we're like a year and a half into my accident, that someone saw me for who I was and not just a disabled girl. Yeah. And I say that I kind of got sober out of spite because she told me that I can't do something, and I am stubborn to my bones. So if you tell me that I can't do something, I'm going to figure out how to. And I called her back 5 days later off of everything, and I said, I need help.
Wow. Did you have to kick physically? Did you have to detox the pain pills?
It was really hard, and being that I was living with my aunt and kind of having to tell her that I was abusing everything, 'cause she didn't know.
Okay.
She just thought it was like my personality.
Yeah.
That's how I moved in.
Also, it's very like, what are you going to say to someone that is now in a wheelchair? I think you're eating too many pain pills.
Yeah.
That's not, you don't say that. Yeah. No one wants to say that,
No.
you know?
And so telling her that I like needed to get off of everything, that I was abusing them, there was a strain on the relationship after that. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
But I told this woman that I needed help, and she sent me a list of shit to do that I was really uncomfortable doing. Talking to women. Ew.
Yeah, what was on the list?
So it was like call women, and then I had to talk to at least 3. So I left voicemails on all of them, but I had to talk to at least 3.
Oh my God, you had to keep going until someone answered? Yeah. Oh, that's so annoying. Mm-hmm. That's like that's the thing I hated the most about this whole thing that we do. Yeah.
And then I had to read certain passages out of the big book. I had to send a gratitude list. I had to read prayers. And there was a lot on there that I had to do.
How did you find gratitude? And I hope this isn't insensitive. How did you find gratitude as a 24-year-old quadriplegic?
I was making shit up.
Okay.
Yeah, there was not.
Really? You just made stuff up?
Yep.
Okay. Like what would you say?
Like sunlight or caffeine.
Okay. That's
like
legit
just,
though, kind of.
Like, yes, but like very surface-based Like, it's COVID and I'm not doing shit. Like,
Right.
you guys at least have like somewhat of a life. I didn't have a driver's license yet. I didn't have anything.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, and that was 4 years ago?
Yeah.
You've been sober since then. What's your sobriety date?
June 6th of 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just passed your 5 years, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years. Okay, so where do you live now?
So I was living in Escondido, and luckily one of my sober sisters at the time was also living in Escondido. And so my sponsor had her come and pick me up for a Thursday night women's meeting that was in her backyard.
Okay.
And like this woman, I love her so much, like to this day.
Yeah.
She would pick me up and like she would put my shoes on and she would put my hair up and she would help me put my jacket on. And like I was not a sight to see. I was not doing very well, and there also like wasn't a whole lot of eye contact or like very great conversation skills. And so like she would just talk the entire way to the meeting and like the whole way back.
Yeah.
And like that's what we're taught to do in AA. But at the time, I was like, how the fuck does she do that?
So how did you start thinking about putting your life back together, man?
So I would like to say that getting sober, like I was gung-ho right away and I like rode that sober cloud. That was not me. The first 9 months of my sobriety, like I really still kept that victim card. Okay. And I would go to that women's meeting, but like I would cry and like, poor me, why me, bleh, all of the time. And with that sponsor, like we did a round of steps, but again, it was really surface based.
Okay.
Because I just wasn't ready to look at my part in anything. And at 9 months, I had a plan to kill myself, and luckily, that was intervened on. And I moved from San Diego to like the Temecula area.
Okay. How did it get intervened on?
My aunt ended up basically kicking me out. And
okay.
she was going up to LA to visit her boyfriend, not her boyfriend, her son, for the weekend. And I knew where my pain pills were at that time because she kept them from me. And I was going to go and take all of them and just go to sleep.
Yeah.
And she ended up kicking me out the day before she was supposed to leave.
What happened? What made her kick you out?
There was a whole lot of like I was lying about a lot of stuff, and then also she wanted answers that I couldn't give her.
Okay.
Because they like simply weren't there.
Okay.
And she had tried to kick me out twice before, but it was that codependent like. I want you, but I don't want you, but I want to fix you, but you need to fix yourself.
She wanted answers about your fall or about your lifestyle?
About my lifestyle and the choices that I had made, and like I just couldn't give them to her. I knew that I couldn't call mom, and so I was like, okay, I need to call my dad. Because at that point, mind you too, this person that I was living with, my aunt, said that you're not going to be able to grow unless you cut off everyone. And so I stopped talking to like those friends who stuck beside me in the hospital.
You stopped talking to them?
I stopped talking to them. Stopped talking to my mom. Stopped talking to my dad. Stopped talking to everyone.
Okay.
The only people that I talked to were sober women.
Okay. Do you think that was a good idea at that time?
I mean, I think it helped me get sober a lot quicker. And it had its benefits, but I also like I lost some really quality friendships.
Totally, yeah. It has it's kind of like when you are learning a foreign language and you go live there. It's like immersion. By the end, I only knew NA people and my mom. I mean, that's it. Yeah. I didn't know a single woman from fitness anymore or anything. I only knew NA. That was it, and that had been my only life for years. So I dated, so I was around, and in a way, it was good. It was good. Yeah. For me.
I definitely like I lost some quality friendships that even like the amends that I've put out there hasn't been received yet, and that's okay. I know that it will come if it's meant to.
So your dad's in Temecula, that's why you move out there?
Yes, so he lives in Wildomar, which is like 15 minutes past Temecula, but no one knows where the fuck Wildomar is.
Yeah, I've heard of it. When you said it earlier today, I've heard of it. Oh, is that where you still, do you still live with him?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the boonies, basically.
It's really pretty, though, right?
It's gorgeous. So we're kind of the halfway point from everywhere. We've got Lake Elsinore, which, like, my friends knew that I wasn't from that area because I was like, let's go hang out at Lake Elsinore. They were like, that is trash.
Is it? I don't know.
It's.
I don't think I've
I
ever
love
been.
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know. I love trashy things though.
Yeah.
Like I love a good trailer park.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like,
so much.
Like I love trailer parks.
Yeah.
It's like this weird side of me. I think it's genetic deep down.
My grandma on my dad's side lived in different trailer parks.
My whole side of my mom's family did too. Yeah.
So I loved it.
Yeah. So what do you do do you start thinking, what do I do for work? How do I support myself? Like, what does that start to look like after a catastrophic injury like this?
So it was not there because I still, like, I didn't have all of the physical there yet. Like my aunt was doing a lot for me there. Again, that codependency. And so I didn't know how to do like basic stuff for myself.
Right.
And so moving in with my dad, he's at work a lot. So I slowly start to figure out what I can do.
Okay.
And learning that like I'm capable of doing a lot more than I gave myself credit for.
Okay. Like even daily tasks, like washing your hair, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, walking across the room, all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of it. And I think I got really lucky with how my sponsor at the time treated me. She called me one day and she said, "Hey," she goes, "I have to fire you." And I was in shock, just like that. She goes, "I know you well enough to know that if I don't, you won't make any friends out there and you won't get engraved into the sober program that's out there."
She wanted you to find a sponsor out in Wildomar.
Yes. And she was absolutely fucking right, because at the time, like, I was going to a couple meetings and sober women were taking me, but like I didn't have friends. Really. And so I started getting really into the young peoples that was out there and meeting some really amazing women who, again, like I didn't have a car, would take me to meetings and to all of these AA events. Like
YPAW is so cool.
It is.
Young people's AA, for you guys listening, you can rebuild your whole social scene with all of the drama and all of the good things and all of the romance, like all the things that you think you're going to lose when you're not going to the bars anymore at 23, fucking get them in YPod, bro. Yeah. Seriously, all of it. You're going to fall in love with somebody, he's going to get somebody else pregnant, and then you're over it, and now you're friends, and then you're going to be like, meet your best girlfriend, you guys are going to be roommates. All the shit that happens in college, and if you're just like living somewhere, all that happens in YPod, but y'all all get to be sober and stay alive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's like a whole learning process there of like learning how to just talk to people.
Totally.
Because I was at that point, like I was so introverted. I would say introverted is not the right word, just isolated.
Yeah.
And that is where like my addiction and my depression takes me, right? I just want to be alone and I want to curl up and I just want to shrivel.
Yeah.
But these people took me to beach bashes and dances and all types of AA events where like I learned to have fun again, and then slowly I allowed myself to be vulnerable with these women because they started being vulnerable with me. And I think it was when I moved out there that I allowed myself to be loved for the first time. And I started healing that mother wound. And it was really fucking beautiful. And I got a new sponsor, and she was okay. Like, she showed up when I needed her to and gave me some like good advice. But we didn't really work on any steps. Okay. And by my 2-year mark, I was struggling really bad with my eating disorder. I had grown up with control issues, obviously. Okay. Yeah. And so that ended up being, at me 2 years sober, 60 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
I was skin and bone. And I don't know what happened at that 2 year. But I remember looking to this woman and I said, "I think I have an eating disorder." She goes, "Do you want help?" I said, "Yes." And that sponsor ended up being my current sponsor.
Oh, okay. Were you at a meeting when you saw her?
No, so she was a mutual of mine. And so she was invited to my 2-year birthday party that was in my friend's backyard at
so
her pool.
It was at your 2-year sobriety that you were like, okay, I have an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And she asked me if I needed help. And it wasn't right then that I asked her to be my sponsor because I was fucking terrified.
Yeah.
Like, she had her shit all the way together.
Yeah.
And it was probably like a week later, I went up to her at an Alano Club. And I said, "Hey, will you be my sponsor?" And she was like, "Absolutely, I will."
Wow. For eating stuff or everything?
For everything. So I didn't work with her like straight on with my eating disorder. I worked with a nutritionist and kind
Okay.
of learned. I had to relearn my relationship with food.
Yeah, I really want to talk about that if we can, because that is such it to me. That's actually harder than getting sober.
Oh,
it's so much harder to deal with body image, eating stuff. It's so hard. I mean, it can plague you your whole life, even in sobriety.
Absolutely.
So how did you address it? You got a nutritionist.
So I got a nutritionist. It was really hard for me because I was so emotional at the time. And for me, my go-to was just eating is what you do in the fun times. I just wouldn't eat for like 3 to 4 days and I would be okay. I wouldn't feel the need or desire for anything.
Okay.
And so I had to relearn my relationship with food, and that started with snacking and just doing like little snacks throughout the day. And it didn't matter how many times I did it or if I ate a meal, it was just doing something.
Okay. How did you find the nutritionist? Was that through like insurance, or
It
how
was
were you?
Yeah, through insurance.
Okay. Because for somebody listening, their health insurance maybe includes a nutritionist. Okay.
I talked with my primary care physician and I
Okay.
said, hey, I have an eating disorder, I think, and I need help.
Okay.
And
and they
so-
connected you with somebody.
Yes.
Okay.
And that nutritionist kind of helped me with the starting path, because obviously, like, you don't get them long term, but I got a couple visits with them, which jump started me into finding that new relationship.
Okay. And then did you end up seeing a therapist also, or how did
So I saw a therapist on and off, but with Kaiser, you kind of need to, like, you have to say, like, I want to kill myself in
Right.
order to get permanent
Sure.
permanent care. And so for me, I grew up like really able to bullshit people. Like, I'm an alcoholic, right? Like, I can manipulate, and I can tell you I'm okay when I'm not. And learning how to let those guards down was really difficult and took a little while to do, and a couple different therapists, right? Because you have to find someone that you mesh with.
Yeah.
And it ended up being that my mom connected me with a life coach.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And this life coach was just like this hippie, weird, like chic gal. And I don't know why, but I was able to be like completely bare and completely honest with her. And she helped me so much.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so kind of after working with her, I look at my sponsor and I'm like, okay, let's do some steps.
Yeah.
Like, and I was ready to do them honestly this time.
Well, and the steps will help the eating disorder too, and I think that's what it helps everything.
It does.
It's a way to address a lot of things.
It still got pretty bad at times.
Eating stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's something that I mean, I've been in full recovery for a year and a half.
Oh wow, good for you.
I was 60 pounds 2 years ago. I am 91 pounds now, which, like, to many people, like, that's like bone thin. To me, I was 95 pounds before my accident.
Okay.
There are days where I still struggle with my body image, but
Yeah.
I think that happens with all women.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with all people, probably.
Yeah. How do you determine that it's been a year and a half?
So on my 2 year was when I said I had an eating disorder, and then it was like 6 months in to working with the therapist, the nutritionist, and then the life coach that I really like started to give it a chance.
Okay. So for you, does that mean daily eating? Like, I guess what's the line on? Okay, this was a sober day for me.
Yes. So I had to make sure that like there were no like, because even with the snacking, there would be days when I would just be like, I'm not hungry. I
Right.
don't want to eat. So I had to make sure like there aren't days today where I don't eat.
Got it. Okay.
At least like a couple things.
Okay.
And even if that's like an Uncrustable, some carrots, just anything
Okay.
to give my body a little bit of something.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you work steps with her. What is your experience going through the steps, honestly, like you said?
Fucking insane. It's crazy. Like, it's been the most humbling, one of the hardest things I have had to do, but also like one of the best things in my life. Yeah, it was terrifying. And I mean, getting to step 3, especially, where it's like, I didn't realize, so my dad is Christian, but I grew up in that household where it's like, we can do whatever the fuck we want to do Monday through Saturday. On Sunday, we go to church and all is forgiven.
Yeah.
And so I had this like deep-seated resentment at like his God.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how deep it was. I was like, I can work with Jeebus, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I can do it. And then my sponsor and I are reading through the big book, and she sees me like wince a little at the word God. She was like, "Ooh, what was that?"
That's funny.
And I was like, I don't know if I like God. And she was like, "Well, are you thinking about like sandals and the robe God?" And I was like, "That's not my God, but that's who I see." And she was like, "Okay, so what we're gonna do is like, where do you see God showing up in your life the most?" And for a gal like me who isolates the way I do, for me to say people is insane. But like, that was so true. Yeah. God shows up in the people in my life on a regular basis.
So how did she have you start to craft a God you could work with?
So for 2 weeks, I took every situation that I ran into when someone was kind or offering something, where I wrote it down. So if like a newcomer told me she liked my share, then I wrote that down in a notebook. I had a gentleman ask if I needed help out to the car. Instead of being like, I can do it myself, thank you very much, I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
And like I took those situations and the characteristics of those people. And after 2 weeks, those characteristics became my higher power.
Oh, wow.
And what I found really beautiful was the things that I was just like the little stuff that I took for granted on a regular basis, because all I saw was like the wrong that was going on. When in reality, like God shows up in your life when you look for it.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm one of those believers, like, God is whatever the fuck you want to make it. Sometimes mine is just a bubble in the sky.
Right.
Like, it doesn't need to look like anything because it's going to grow and it's going to change throughout your sobriety.
I love that. That's such a cool, concrete way to, like, put one together. What was the most transformative step for you, would you say?
Holy shit, amends.
Okay. Oh,
they were gnarly. But with my first round of steps, like, I did the easy stuff.
Okay.
Right. And so the second round of men's, it was really gnarly and they were really big. My mom was one of them. And I think before I did that fourth step and I wrote that amends, like I wasn't able to see her as a person and I wasn't able to have any type of empathy. But once I did that fourth step and I realized like, oh shit, all of the things that had happened to me, like I turn around and I did it exactly the way to someone else.
Okay.
And so that ninth amends, I wrote down that like I put her through almost losing a child, right? And like my lifestyle did. And all of the stealing and the crazy shit that I did in high school for attention, because for me, getting attention was always negative. I didn't feel like I received attention when I was doing good stuff. So I was doing outlandish shit all the time.
Yeah.
And then being able to apologize for like not being the child that she deserved. And I remember sitting down with her and I apologized for all of the things. And she sat there and she looked at me for a moment and she like let out this sigh. And I'm expecting to get like fucking reamed out, right? And she goes, I never thought you were going to say sorry.
Wow.
And I said, like, what can I do to make this right? And she goes, you just did. Wow. Like, you are doing it.
Yeah.
That's really fucking crazy to me. And, like, making amends to, like, my younger brother and sister, where it's like they didn't have the older sister to be there and support them and love them, protect them. I did quite the opposite. And, like, my little sister now is, like, my best friend. Yeah. Cambria, I love you.
That's where you're going right after this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh. She's my best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the ninth step definitely moved me the most.
Did you do BBA steps?
No, so I did that my first sobriety, but like half-assed. Yeah. And I was like, this isn't for me.
Because it's the only place where I've seen, and maybe more people do it, but there's that extra column of not just what was my part, but then also, have I done this to someone else? I love that BBA adds that.
Yeah.
And you just said that. And I think that is so fucking helpful to look at not just my part in the situation, but have I ever betrayed somebody else? Have I ever manipulated somebody else in this exact way that I was manipulated?
Yeah. Every time.
That's been the most powerful way for me to let go of resentments. Because it's like, fuck, I do that too. You know?
All of them.
Yeah. So now what does your life look like today?
My life is beautiful. Like, what's crazy is I never thought that I was deserving of a good life. Like, I always thought it would be chaos and confusion, and I just thought that was life for me. But I don't have any drama in my life that is of Ashley's making, which is crazy. Like, old me would have been like, "You're fucking boring."
Yeah.
I love it.
Right.
I love my boring little life. Like, I know what to expect out of life. I have the best friends I could ever imagine. I feel like a lot of people are lucky to get like one ride or die.
Yeah.
And I have numerous in my life.
Yeah.
And people that I can go to with like my deepest shit that will love me, but also be really fucking honest with me.
Yeah.
And don't tolerate my bullshit, which is needed for an alcoholic like myself.
Absolutely. How do you spend your time, like, hobby-wise, or how do you spend your time day to day?
So I didn't have a whole lot of hobbies that weren't like nice and normal before my accident. And I remember getting out of a relationship at 1.5 years of sobriety and not knowing who the fuck I was. And so I took a year of like no dick, no dating. And I just learned how to date myself and how to love myself. So I would like take myself out on dates, and I would, because I ended up getting my license back, and I have.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have like an amazing car now.
Yeah. So that obviously is modified in any way that you would need.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you get yourself around.
Yeah. I'm the person that drives all the time, but I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think for me, it's when I feel the most free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really cool.
I love.
And do you have a goal? Or do you work, or do you have a goal to work? Like how?
So there is a business I want to start. I don't want to say too much.
Okay. All right.
And give
That's
it away.
Smart. That's smart.
Yeah. But it is not only to better my life, but to better the disability community as a whole.
Okay.
Because I feel like I've found my place in the disability community, or my place in the sobriety community, but I have not found my place yet in the disabled community.
Is there a disabled community in terms of like meetings and support, sort of like what we have?
So there are support groups, and like there are like days out with disabled people, and they have numerous foundations that are local in San Diego.
Okay.
And I have not found my clique yet, but I know it'll come.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I've kind of known since the beginning of sobriety that like I've wanted to do something to help disabled people, because we are forgotten in a lot of senses.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I didn't know anyone disabled before becoming disabled myself.
Do I?
Me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm beyond you. And also, people don't know how to act.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they don't know how to act. They're like, should I just, like, for example, with you, when we scheduled this, I was like, oh, shit, okay, well, I need to ask her because I didn't know that you could also do the cane, and we don't have a ramp here.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I need to ask her if we should go somewhere else. But I felt bad even asking, but I shouldn't have felt bad asking.
No.
I mean, you would want somebody to just be normal. And I did. I finally was just very outright. And I was like, hey, not sure what accommodations would work best for you. We could go here or there. And then you said, well, I've got my cane. I can go anywhere. But even that, like, I didn't exactly know what to say. And I feel like sometimes people don't know what to say.
Yes. And I think for me, with my friends in the beginning, like with every new friendship or relationship that I'm in, people, like, they don't know how to react at first. They're like, am I doing too much? Am I doing too little?
Totally.
And I'm like, just do it and you'll figure it out. I go, I am never going to put you down or like tell you you're wrong when you're trying to help me, because I really do see that you're wanting to help. And that's in public too. Like it's really hard sometimes, because I'll just be getting...
people look at you funny when you're
like, I'm just getting some fucking broccoli, and there's a lady behind me that's saying, you're doing such a good job.
Oh my gosh.
Or like I was at a meeting sharing once, and someone said, you know, if I was in your place, like I would... And I was like...
Cool. Thanks, bud.
Okay, that doesn't ring the way that you think it does.
Right. And they obviously meant it good, but
Yeah.
that's not.
And
That's
so
not
many
helpful.
people are like, I don't know how you do it. And it's like, just like sobriety, you either do it or die.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, life puts you in these hard positions and you just figure it out.
Yeah. This is a crazy question. When you look back on your fall, are you grateful for the life you are?
So
You're
much
grateful
so.
for the fall and the accident.
I wasn't for the first year and a half and probably like a year into my sobriety. But I have a brain that works with me today. Like, I definitely have my hard days, but I'm honest with my people and I'm saying, hey, like, I am really fucking depressed. Yeah. And I let myself feel, and then I move on because I have to, right? Yeah. But I allow myself to feel all of the feelings, the rage, sadness, laughter, all of it. And turns out, like, I used to pride myself on not being emotional. I am the most emotional person I know. Like, I'm crying at like little commercials on the TV. If there's a little bunny family, I cry over everything. Yeah. And I love that.
So you feel like it actually left you better off in some ways?
It did. I don't think before my accident, there wasn't much gratitude for life. When you're able-bodied, you take what you can do for granted.
Totally.
Which is good because like you have it, you know? But I've really learned to appreciate what I have because I know that with how high my injury is, it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
Like I live independently today.
Yeah.
I don't do the sheets because fuck a fitted sheet.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. There's no way.
No.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Dude, I can barely do a fucking fitted sheet.
Yeah. I'm not fighting.
Yeah.
And like, I don't do little stuff like that.
Okay.
But like I do the majority of life.
Yeah.
And I just figure it out, you know? I fall, I eat shit, like I stumble. I'm going to do it slow, but like I'm going to get it done.
Yeah. Ashley, you're an amazing person.
Thank you.
I don't know how you even, like, just to have the grace to talk about all of this, and it wasn't even that long ago. I mean, you're really just an incredible person. I can't thank you enough for your time today.
Yeah, I've really learned through my sobriety that you have to be completely honest, or I have to be at least completely honest and completely vulnerable, especially because my story is kind of fucking weird and gnarly, and I don't know which part of it is going to help another alcoholic. I don't believe that everything happens for a reason because I believe we have free will at some point, but I do believe that I don't have to make anything that I go through for nothing.
Totally. What a beautiful sentiment.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
today.
for having me.
Of course.
This is great.
I know. I'm so glad to hear your story. Again, I've just wondered about you. I've seen you in the room for years, and I've always wondered, and I'm guilty of that same thing too. You know, I could have, although also we don't know each other. I'm not going to walk up and be like, hey, how did this happen?
Yeah.
You fucking
Which
imagine?
people do.
Do they?
Oh, so much.
Really?
And
Somebody used to be like, what happened? Yeah, I would never do that.
I make up stuff. That's
amazing.
I told one guy, I was like, I got attacked by a bear.
Oh my God.
I told another one that like I was hiking Mount Everest and I got stuck.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I get my fun.
I can't believe somebody said to you, you're doing great when you're just buying something. See, I at least know to not do, you know what I mean? Just like, people are people, you just be normal.
Yeah, I've had people pray over me where it's just like, I don't want to leave them with a bad taste in their mouth. So I just like sit there and I'm like, thank you.
Oh my God.
But then I get in the car and I'm like, ugh.
Like, oh, gross.
Yeah.